How have you been, Kate?
I'm all right, and you?
Well, I'm good.
Welcome to the Matter of Hour.
With the experience of passengers in the new Bus Rapid Transit BRT buses plying the Ikorodu to CMS corridor, no one is in doubt about the Lagos State government's determination to deliver world-class transportation in the city through Lamata. What they are curious about is the resolve to sustain the good work started.
Will this new state-of-the-art BRT buses be as good in 2, 3, and 5 years from now? Will the services decline or improve? Will they enjoy routine maintenance?
Good questions, which Mr. Fola Tinubu, the Managing Director of Primero Transport Services Limited, the new operators of the present fleet of BRT buses, is on the standby to answer. We will join him after the news highlights. I am Obafemi Craig.
I am Kate Harmony.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the news highlight on Lamata FR. Operator of the new Bus Rapid Transit BRT corridor from Ikorodu to CMS via Mile 12 has reiterated its commitment to maintaining the efficiency of its services to commuters along the corridor. Mr. Fola Tinubu, the new Managing Director of Primero Transport Services Limited, operator of the corridor, made this assertion during a chat with our crew. Tinubu noted that Primero is committed to achieving excellence in the provision of public transport services to commuters along its corridor, with no excuses for lapses. He noted since commencement of operation, continuous efforts have been made to tackle challenges that impacted on the quality of service delivery to commuters using its services. He, however, commended the Lagos State government and Lamata for the continued support to his organization in ensuring standards at tackling the challenges that could impact on the company's ability to deliver good services to commuters. Meanwhile, efforts are on to ensure the availability of the Lagos Connect card, the electronic card through which bus fare could be paid on the Bus Rapid Transit BRT and Bus Franchise Scheme BFS services. Dayo Aderubo, Managing Director, E-Pass System, the vendor responsible for the e-ticketing platform, said the challenges encountered at the back end of the platform are being rectified. Aderubo assured that the card will be available at the bus shelters soon. He also disclosed that his company was exploring the possibility of making the cards available at neighborhood shops, saying that his company was desirous of making the process of getting and loading the cards effortless. That ends the news highlight. Have you traveled in one of the new BRT buses plying the Ikorodu to CMS routes? In the words of one of you who sent us a message, it is heaven on wheels.
They are fitted with TV screens, air conditioning, and comfortable seating. And you have to press a stop button while announcing your destination without shouting, "Oh wow!" But even with all the praise, some of you are still skeptical about the sustainability of this new standard, especially as the first set of BRT buses operated by the first BRT cooperative suffered a decline.
The Lagos State government has ensured through Lamata that history won't repeat itself in that area. The new operator of the BRT buses on the Ikorodu to CMS route is Primero Transport Services Limited, and its Managing Director, Mr. Fola Tinubu, is our guest, and he will address your concerns.
What maintenance plan is in place to ensure continued quality service from the BRT buses? What are their routes? Why don't they stop at certain bus shelters? And how do we know their stops so we can plan our trips? How are the new BRT depots influencing the state of the BRT buses? What trainings do the staff have to deliver optimal services to us, the passengers?
Mr. Fola Tinubu, the Managing Director of Primero Transport Services Limited, is ready to answer these questions and more.
Let's join him now on the move. In November 2015, the Lagos State government through Lamata launched the operations of the Bus Rapid Transit BRT service from Ikorodu to CMS. We have heard a lot of commendations, complaints from the commuters. And today we have the Managing Director for Primero Transport Services Limited, Mr. Fola Tinubu, with us. And we are here at the massive state-of-the-art BRT bus depot in Majudu. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
So what changes have you been able to make?
We've introduced lots of changes. The first one that we've introduced is the new bus transport software system that we introduced to make scheduling and to make scheduling a lot easier. Because we discovered that number one complaint of commuters was that the buses were not on time. So we brought in a new software system, which we're still working on. It's not there yet. Yes. We're still working on it to make sure we get the buses to the right place at the right time. And I think that's the most important thing we've done in the last 4 weeks that we've been here.
So tell me more about the software.
Well, the software, what it does is that we can see all our buses anywhere they are, you know, on the corridor, and we know what time they'll get to the right bus stops, so that and we know where there's lots of commuters, so we can get buses to them a lot faster than we used to do before.
Okay, we've seen even on the social media that commuters are saying that your bus deployment system has not really met up with their expectation. So in line with what you just mentioned with the software that you're developing, how fast is this going to take place so that commuters will not have to wait longer hours at the bus stations?
Well, one thing, since I've been on board, the commuters should be able to tell, because I go to bus stops almost practically every day to see what is going on, and I meet them. The buses are getting there faster than they used to before. We are not there yet because we've not brought out all our buses, but my goal is that nobody should wait for more than 30 minutes to board our buses, and everybody at Primero has bought into that idea, and we are working around the clock to make sure that our scheduling is perfect and we get the buses to where they're supposed to be, you know, on a timely basis.
Before the launch of the Bus Rapid Transit BRT service on this corridor, we were told we should be expecting about 434 new buses.
Yes.
And right now what we have currently on ground, if I'm correct, is about 250.
No. Okay. Actually, what we have on ground right now is about 320. 320. But we are running roughly about 294 of our buses right now. At this junction, I would like to thank the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, for his help, because part of the reason why we've not been able to put all our buses out is where to the Ojota depot is not ready, and he has gone out of his way to make sure that we can use Ojota and Moshalashi depot. So we are bringing about 90 buses out by this weekend to use both of those depots. So we'll increase our fleet to roughly about 410, 415, and then we'll bring the rest out. But my goal is that by end of April, all the 434 buses will be out on the road, plying the road.
So this is huge, this is beautiful. I think we shouldn't just stand here and do all the talks. Let's just go out there, check all the components of this depot.
Please be my guest.
So come along with us. I'm loving the wash bay.
Oh, well.
Last time I came here, it wasn't really fully in operation.
Now you see, we've made a difference.
I can see that. Okay, let's talk about maintenance. How are we going to maintain this thing? Because we believe, in quotes, that is a Nigerian factor.
No, there's no Nigerian factor here. And here at this junction, again, I'd like to thank the Lagos State Government and Lamata for putting these beautiful facilities together for us. Because as you can see at my background, that's the washing bay. I believe it's the only one in Nigeria right now where all our buses are washed. In fact, we wash our buses about 3 times a week, and that's why you see them coming out neat and clean every day. All the insides are swept every day. There's no Nigerian factor here. We have state-of-the-art depot here. All our maintenance will go, I'll show it to you later, all our maintenance is done in here. We can fix the AC, we can fix the engine. There's no issues at all on the bus that we cannot fix here. We have about 7 of the Chinese technicians working with us. We're sending about 10 of our technicians in May to China to be trained, so that, you know, we don't want a Nigerian factor here.
So how often do you carry out periodic checks on your buses to ensure that they are in top shape?
Every day. When the buses are coming in, we take the mileage they've done, we take all the details, mechanical details from every single one of the buses. We know exactly when each one is due for service, routine maintenance, and we are doing it like clockwork because we've invested a lot of money. And for each bus that is sitting in our yard, we're losing money. So our goal is to push all the buses out, not to sit in the maintenance yard. And the faster we can work on it and get whatever the issues fixed, the better for us. So we are working around the clock 24 hours a day to make sure there are no, all the issues are resolved as fast as possible, and we push the buses out as fast as possible. Okay, let's assume you have one of your buses that broke down along the BRT corridor, and how long does it take you to take it off the corridor? It depends on where the location is, but I'll show you later. We have 2 towing trucks that we can deploy out almost any time, and from here to CMS, traffic permitting should not take more than an hour to get to CMS if they use the corridor, and the tow trucks are allowed to use the corridor also. So it shouldn't be more than an hour, to get to any of our buses. The issue that we're having, and at this junction again, I'd like to thank the governor, because over the weekend, he just signed an executive order that no other buses can use the BRT lane but the blue bus, or the red buses are not allowed to use starting from this week on. So I would really like to thank him for his support and cooperation. Okay. As long as we are the only one using the BRT lane, we should not have many issues about scheduling, because the number one problem we face is when those red buses break down on the corridor, it delays all our buses, and there's a backlog or backup of buses. But now that that's going to be a thing of the past, it should not be an issue at all. And our tow truck can get to any one of our buses within an hour or so.
Okay. A good bus, a beautiful bus like this, without a good driver is a problem. It's disastrous. I know you can agree with me on that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So about your drivers, how often do you train them? Do you make them understand that this is a job? You have to treat it as a job. It's not business as usual.
We are actually encouraging them not to treat it as a job, but to treat it as a career.
Okay.
Because if it's a job, they just want to make money and go. But it's a career. It's a long-term career for them, and they can progress and move up the ladder. We have an incentive bonus for all our drivers to encourage them to drive safely and to drive in a better manner. And we train them. There are 2 sets of trainings that they go through before we even put them behind the wheels. And also, even after those training, we take them down the corridor for about 2-3 days to drive without carrying anybody, to make sure they understand the requirements, that what they need to do on the corridor. But we are also in the process of talking to Lagos State government to start a driving school, because right now we have about 600 drivers. We are getting more drivers. Once all our fleets are out, we will need about 900 drivers. Okay. And we are hoping Primero will grow and go to other sectors of Lagos, because lots of people have asked me, when are you coming to our area? So if we're going to do that, that means we're going to need a lot of drivers. And the best way is to actually start our own school and train them in our culture, in the way we want them to drive in a safe and effective manner.
A particular segment of the commuters, particularly the visually impaired people, have complained that they always miss their bus stops because they don't announce each bus stop as the bus is moving. So how are you trying to resolve this?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, because in each of the buses there's a microphone and the driver is supposed to announce the bus stops. So I will make sure that henceforth every one of our buses they announce, so that the visually impaired will hear, because we want the visually impaired, the handicapped, to use our buses. We have space for them, so we really want we want them to be comfortable. So, I will ensure for that all our drivers announce it, because there's a microphone there, so I don't see why not.
So let's talk about the current issue. It's the rave of the moment and a problem we really need to conquer. We need to resolve this. The Okada riders that make use of the BRT corridor. How are you trying to nip it in the bud?
That's a very, very difficult and thorny question for us. Because when I came on board as the MD, the first thing I did the first weekend was to meet with the NURTW in Ikorodu and the Okada Rider Association. And we spoke to them and we implored them to please tell their members not to use the BRT corridor, because these buses, they take a long time to stop from cars. And when they're coming at even at 40 miles an hour, they cannot stop, on a dime. And the way those Okada guys are riding, some of them, they even ride against traffic, against these buses, and they weave in and out between these buses. I think there's been about 2 or 3 accidents in Ikorodu so far. I've met with the Oba Ayongure of Ikorodu. I've met with Bale of Agric. We have tried everything possible, and I have written to Lamata also, and I'm appealing to the Lagos State government to please help us, because they're not even supposed to be on that road at all, not to talk of even going on BRT. But everything we've done has not been successful right now. And on this issue, I'm really at my wit's end, because I honestly don't know what the solution is. All I can do now is appeal to Lagos State government to please help us enforce the no Okada riders on BRT.
What's the relationship between Primero Transport Services and the matter?
Primero Transport is a privately owned company that doesn't have anything to do with Lagos State government. But Lamata has given us a franchise to operate on the BRT lane. Lamata is our regulator. They dictate our pricing, some of our policies we have to clear with them.
Okay, and the final thought to our viewers and the commuters, your customers.
Thank you very much, all of you, for using our buses. I promise you, and most of you that have seen me at bus stops, you've heard this before. I'll keep on coming to the bus stops to hear your complaints, to hear your praises, and I promise you nobody will wait for more than 30 minutes to board our buses. And we promise you an efficient, safe, and fast transport system. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have seen the different components of this massive BRT bus depot garage at Majidun, and we've heard about the promises and services offered by the Primero Transport Services, the operators of the Ikorodu to CMS Bus Rapid Transit BRT service. Now, the other side of the responsibility lies with you, the commuters. Make use of the pedestrian bridge. Be patient while using the BRT bus. Make use of your pedestrian walkway. Okada riders, government don't talk, say make una know they use the corridor. No before una. Make una follow government do as them take talk. All we are trying to ensure is that you have a better travel experience. It's still a matter of hour. Keep watching.
Primero Transport Services Limited have noble plans, and already people in high places have given them reasons to sustain the great work. Just this week, the Anyogbun of Ikorodu, Oba Kabiru Adewale Shotubi, took a ride on one of the BRT buses on that corridor, and here is how the experience went for him.
I am taking the BRT bus this morning to show appreciations to the governments of APC, the governments of Lagos State, the governor, the sitting governor, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, to let the people know that the provisions of this bus is meant for the people of Ikorodu divisions, and all other visitors are in Ikorodu axis. I have been seeing the buses up and down on the road, but I've never had the feelings of talking to the users, the commuters. And that is the more reason I have come to listen to the people, to listen if there is any complaint, to see where the shortcomings are, And I've been able to listen to many people now. They have told me their complaints. They have told me what they are, the problem they are having at the terminals. They want us to have provisions for the handicapped people, for elderly people, anybody above the age of 75 and above. There must be provisions for them, the handicaps and the pregnant women, to have provision for them. And I will still lure them to make provisions for the others market women that are having loads. Not the whole bus should be filled with seats, that there must be half of it to give room for their loads so that they have more customers patronizing them. And the complaints about the Okada, I have listened to them. I am going to call the chairman of Okada riders, and I will make sure the management of Lamata will be seated for us to have a dialogue. The BRT lane is specifically meant for BRT, period. Not even for me as the Kabiyesi to take my own car on this BRT, not for me, not for Okada, no for any other person to use the BRT. So I'm going to talk to the chairman of the Okada rider that they will take the full responsibility of whatever happens on that lane. The government has warned them. We are going to talk to them. The government looks being soft to them because they have already given the policy for Okada not to be on some specific highways. And this is part of the highways that have been mentioned for them not to ride. And it will be wrong for anybody to gang up to molest the operation of these Lamata routes, to molest the operation of these buses. I am not going to succumb to that, but I will first of all talk to them. This is our property, and I enjoyed it being inside. It is more comfortable for me, even better than my own car. So I will have the opportunity to talk to the people here, and I really appreciate it. Thank
you for the inspiring suggestions and brilliant ideas you sent in this week. Here are some of them. This one is from Kazim Badruddin. It says, to address the ticketing issues that people are experiencing, it should be possible for one to buy and reload one's tickets like one do when buying recharge card. This, I believe, will permanently resolve whatever issues people are having with tickets. Also, there is the need to significantly increase the number of buses available to the people. Thank you, Badru, for the comments. The vendor is looking at decentralizing sales of tickets. On the increase in the number of buses, the government is looking at developing other routes, and this will translate to more buses. The last one for today is from Yusuf Hassan. Please, how can we get the plastic card? You can get the Lagos Connect card from any of the ticketing agents at the bus shelters. Thank you for sending your questions, comments, and suggestions today. You can send more to any of our following contacts.
Thank you for joining us in another wonderful episode. Whether you are a pedestrian, passenger, or driver, you are a road user and therefore must educate yourself on the traffic signs and symbols that guide your transportation behavior.
Some signs tell us to slow down. Some inform us that a road is one way. Some tell us to slow down for crossing school children, and some let us know where we can or can't park our vehicles.
Many times, the difference between a safe journey by foot, cycle, or vehicle and ending up in the hospital or worse, in the grave, is simple obedience to traffic signs and symbols. I am Obafemi Craig.
I am Kate Harmony. Lamata.
Keeping Lagos moving.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes more.